Sometimes people ask me about how to become a Christian. Oh, incidentally, my name is Pastor Roland. I've basically been on the radio and on the internet, but especially on the radio for 25 years, around the country. On small stations, I don't have a lot of money. I've been on a couple of medium-sized stations, but see, I buy the airtime myself. I buy the airtime. So I've been on stations in San Francisco, Seattle, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Pensacola, Florida, San Bernardino, Inland Empire, Los Angeles, Palm Springs. Okay. I've been on the shortwave around the world. I've been on a station in Arizona, a big station in Arizona, big station. Okay. And been on a couple of different stations in San Francisco. I actually started on Personal Growth Radio on KEST a long time ago. They had a lot of personal growth radio. And I've also been on a personal growth radio up in Seattle. So I was there with people that were interested in health, in alternative ways of health and integrative medicine. And of course, people interested in yoga and spirituality and things like that. Kind of a mixture of an eclectic group, positive thinking, and just a whole bunch. So there I was, and I got along pretty well there because there were people who came there who were searching. See, that's the thing. They were searching people. See, some people get involved in a organized group of some sort, and they get all involved in it. They become hypnotized by it, caught up in it. They think they have the answers. They're not interested in growing anymore, and so they stop searching. If they ever did in the first place, probably they really didn't, but now for sure they're not searching. But some people keep searching. So those people can end up, getting involved in what seems to be really flaky, weird things. Okay? Because they're searching for the truth. They're searching for answers. They're searching for the real thing. So they keep trying this and trying that. Okay? Then eventually they find. They find the answer. Okay? Now, and they can temporarily get caught up in error for a while, for even years. But eventually, see, there's a part of them that loves God, even though they don't realize it. Part of them really loves God and loves the truth, so they keep searching until they find the answer. That's why Jesus said, "Blessed are they who seek. Seek and ye shall find," he said. Okay, seeking is very important. But anyway, so let's talk about how to become a Christian. Well, okay, so my own personal journey was something like this. I grew up in basically a Protestant home. Actually, my dad was Catholic. My mom was Lutheran. When I was a kid, I went to a Lutheran church. Okay, then I went to college, fell away from going to church. Didn't go to church anymore. Okay, and then years went by, and it wasn't until I was 39 years old that I began to find answers again, or God touched my life. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I wandered through the desert for a long time. But as I was wandering through the desert, I was still I've always been interested in religion. Even when I was a little kid, I remember when I was like 12 years old, 12, 13, 14 years old, or even 11 years old, I don't know, had a radio, transistor radio, and then I had a shortwave. I love shortwave radio. And I used to listen to some of these end times prophecy. There was one particular, I can't think of the name of it now, but it was very popular at the time. And I used to love listening to that. Why? I don't know. I was just a regular kid. I loved baseball, loved sports, comic books, loved eating, watching TV, watching sitcoms and westerns and everything that all the other kids were doing. But I also loved listening to Bible prophecy on the radio because I was interested in the topic. Okay. And when I was in college, I took classes in religion. Okay, because I actually went to a Catholic. Okay, you want to know the story about that? Okay, when I was in junior high, I wasn't doing very well. I was messing up. My grades were bad. I was hanging around with the wrong kind of people. So my mom and my stepdad sent me to Catholic high school. Okay, even though my mom and stepdad were not Catholics and I was not a Catholic, I went to Catholic high school. Why? And it was cheap then. It wasn't expensive. Not like it is now. Now it can be expensive. Back then it was real cheap. So they could afford it. Wasn't very expensive at all. But guess what? It was good for me. There was discipline. We had to wear a uniform. We had to be respectful. There was order in the classroom. And before, when I was flunking out of math, now I was getting A's in math. Went on to to be offered several academic scholarships. The best one was to the University of San Francisco, which is a Catholic university. It was the best scholarship offer. It was a full scholarship. So I went to college on a full academic scholarship. Okay? Well, when I was at Catholic University, so I took courses like religion, which was required, but also cosmology, philosophy, courses like that, because I loved it. Then when I continued on in my young corporate career, I loved philosophy. I loved psychology. Okay, and I still read about about religious topics. So I had an interest in it. See, there was something in me that loved that sort of thing. But then eventually, when I began to find answers, then I went it alone. Okay, I didn't join a church. Okay, I've always said that true religion is one person and his maker, one man and his maker, the relationship between one woman and her creator. One man and his creator. See, a man and his maker. That's true religion. Okay, like Abraham, Isaac, Enoch, Moses. See? All right. Well, then of course got married and then had a son, and then of course, he was in the church. He was in a choir, Christian choir, homeschooling choir, and so he was involved in a lot of music, sang in a lot of churches, played the piano for the church activities. So I was knew a lot of church-going people, loved them. Okay, and I always loved sometimes visiting church and hearing the hymns. And I love Christmas. Love all the hymns. Love everything about Christmas. Okay, but when it comes to religion, it's like a 24/7 thing for me. I don't need to go to church on Sunday because it's like 24/7. Okay, and if you say, well, don't you? So what's my church? And well, I'm on the radio every Sunday morning. There I am. So I'm like I'm giving a sermon, and people are listening. People are homebound. Okay, people who can't go to church, people who are searching, people who have an interest in the topic. Okay, people who love hearing spiritual things talked about. Okay, and people who are between churches. Maybe they've been to church and they fell away, or they consider themselves to be a backslider or something like that. Okay, so they don't go, but they still want to do something. So that's what I do. So you see, for me, it's 24/7. 24/7. I wake up during the night and I put on Christian radio and listen to it if I'm not sleeping. I go to bed with Christian radio on. Okay, first thing in the morning I get up and I go to Starbucks and I check my emails, answer prayer requests, start working on my book. Okay, so it's 24/7. Go out in the world and I see a butterfly, see a dog or cat, see clouds floating by. Okay, and I marvel at the Creator who made all these wonderful things. That's my form of worship. Okay. All right, so that's my perspective on things. See, so I'm kind of a maverick, go it alone, but not because there's anything far out or weird about what I have. What I have is what I have is actually, what would you call it? Tough love. I'm conservative, but I have a heart. I have a heart. Okay, and in some ways, I'm not. conservative. I mean, I am in lifestyle and so on, but I mean, you know, if I see somebody with tattoos and purple hair and nose rings and weird clothes on, then it doesn't bother me. That's not the way I dress, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Sometimes I feel closer to those people, see, than I do. In fact, most of the time, 99% of the time, I feel closer. If there's a big gathering and I choose a table, that's the table I would be sitting at. See, people that ride motorcycles and have earrings and that kind of stuff, because they're more down to earth, they're more honest, less phony. Okay. So how to become a Christian? Well, let's get right down to it then. So now you know what I would have to say. I'd have to say, find your way. I would say listen to my radio programs, look over some of my books, watch some of my videos, okay, and try the meditation. Meditation to me is so important, because when you get lost in thinking, lost in imagination, you cannot know truth when you're lost down there in the virtual irreality of your imagination and your thinking. That's where wrong thoughts, programmed thoughts, other people's thoughts, unwholesome influences, see, bizarre ideas and notions, naughty things. That's where they are down there. It's like Alice in Wonderland upside down world of goofiness. See, you're not going to find God there. You're not going to find God in thinking. You're not going to find God in the imagination. Okay? What you need to do is be able to stand back from it. Stand back so you're not lost in the thoughts. Okay? When you're standing back, you're closer, you're in reality, you're in the moment. You're aware. Okay? So the example I always give is if you're sitting in a movie theater, see, some people will get lost in the movie. Some people get pulled into the movie, so deeply into the movie that they're just lost in the movie. Somebody could come along and take their purse. They wouldn't even know it. Okay? But when I go to watch a movie, I watch the movie, but I'm kind of standing back, a little bit of distance. So I'm also aware. I'm also aware of the people around me. I'm aware of the sounds. There's the clock, there's the light, there's the aisle, there's a person over there. See what I mean? I'm aware of my surroundings. I still can enjoy the movie, but I'm not lost in it. And that way, if somebody's coming along, they won't pickpocket me because I'm not lost in the movie. See what I mean? Okay, that's a way of it's almost like defocusing. See, so I'm standing back. I'm not deeply lost in it. Okay. Well, so the meditation is very helpful. So you should try my meditation. That'd be the first thing I would say. Okay. Then let's say, so you start to meditate, and now you begin to have some. You come out of the imagination. Your mind clears. See, now you have reason, and you can see things reasonably, and so on. Now, see. Now you could listen to a little Christian radio. I think that's good. I don't like watching a lot of TV because it's hypnotic. I can watch TV, but I don't. Okay? I won't get lost in it, but most people do. But if you listen to the radio, you can listen to, there's always Christian stations around. There's probably 2 or 3 or 4 in your area. Okay? And so just listen. You'll begin to hear Bible verses. You'll hear stories about what Jesus said, what the apostles did. Never mind whether the exact opinion of the preacher or the teacher. Just kind of get the idea of the verses, the books in the Bible, what happened. See the basics. That's what you need, basics. Okay, just basics. You get used to it, to the words, the vocabulary. See, and then you can also get a Bible, not to study, but to read lightly. Maybe start with the New Testament where it talks about Jesus, the Gospels, or maybe the apostles who came after Jesus. Okay. So what Bible to get? Well, just get any Bible really. See, I've got them all. I've got the NIV and the what else do I have? The King James, New King James, the New World, the English Bible, New English. I can't even think of the names of them all. Not the New World, but the New English, a New English Bible, something like that. Okay. NASB, got that one. My son gave me that one. NASB Study Bible, very nice. Has a lot of notes in it. I love the little notes. Okay, so that way you can, if you hear something on the radio, you hear something beautiful on the radio, it's a verse, then you go look it up. And look it up in a couple of different Bibles or online. Bible Hub. I think it's BibleHub.com or BibleHub.org. I forget. So you can type in Google search a Bible verse and look for Bible Hub, and there it is. Not only you get the verse, but you get the context. You get other similar verses, and you get commentary. Matthew Henry's commentary, Gill's commentary, pulpit commentary. Very nice. Oh, it's just wonderful. What a resource. But you see how you can begin to just explore a little bit and discover. Okay. And that way you'll know some basic things. You'll know the Christmas story. You'll know about the Last Supper. You'll know about the resurrection. And there's some good movies too, like Moses or Ben-Hur. There's some good movies that show about the life of Christ or about Moses. See, any of those things, you can begin to gather little information. It'll all collate nicely in your new objective consciousness, which you have from practicing the meditation. Okay, and you'll begin to grow and to flower and begin to have insights. Okay, and that way you're free. You're learning, you're discovering. Okay, but you're free. You're not all caught up in something that's enmeshing and stand back from trying to figure everything out. Okay, just hear what people say, let it go in one ear and out the other, and wait until you see for yourself, for sure. Some people say this, some people say that. Okay, hear what they have to say, and then just have it as a question. Maybe one day you'll see. You'll see for yourself what's true. Okay? Okay, so I hope those will be helpful to you. I really do. Hope they'll be helpful to you. So what have I got here to show you? I want to show you my Bible. Here's my, this is just a regular old King James. Okay, so what Bible? I once heard, what's his name? Now I can't think of his name. He's such a nice gentleman. I'll think of his name later. He said, they asked him what Bible. He says, well, I read them all, because that way you get a little different perspective. Sometimes you'll understand one rendition better than another. But he said he tends to gravitate toward the King James or the New King James because it's always going to be there. All the other ones, they come and go. You know how there's fads, Bible comes and goes. But the King James is like always there. So if you memorize something in the King James, then it'll always be good. 20 years from now, it'll still be good. You see what I mean? I can't think of his name. What is his name? I can't think of it. Okay, well, it'll come to me. It'll come to me later. Okay, so what else do I have? What else do I have to show you? A new book that I just got, Vine's Complete Expository Dictionary. Vine's Complete Expository Dictionary of the Bible. Is this a beautiful book or what? Okay, you can look up a word in it, like that you find in the Bible. Spirit, soul, love, discipline, yearning, any word, look it up. And it'll tell you what it meant in Greek or in the Aramaic, how it was used different ways, different translations for it. And it'll show you different verses in the Bible. Very, very nice. Okay? It's not a concordance. The concordance where you look up a word and it shows you where every place that word was used, which is also good. Concordances are good. Okay, but this is a Bible, Vine's Complete Expository Dictionary. Okay, very nice. And the other one I want to show you is the Khabouris Manuscript. The Khabouris Manuscript. These are some of the verses of the New Testament from the Sermon on the Mount in the Gospel of Matthew, some verses from John, and I think some other verses also, mainly Matthew and John, I think. And it's translated exquisitely from the Aramaic. Aramaic is a language that Jesus spoke, and this is a painstakingly translated from the Aramaic, trying to convey the to us what the Aramaic words meant to people when Jesus spoke them and when people heard them. It's very beautiful. The Caboris manuscript, you can get it online. It's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, so there I've given you a whole bunch of really good stuff. Hope you enjoyed this little impromptu talk. My name is Pastor Roland.